So, hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about Asia and Latin America mutual corporations. So, let's get started. Why it's not full screen? There it is. So, from revolutionary allies to strategic partners. Uh, it's my first time, so today's presentation, led by me, Shaukat, will analyze the notable changes in the relationship between China and Latin America, focusing on historical context, political interactions, and economic implications. The overview of the topic covers the transition from ideological support during the Cold War to modern strategic partnerships, emphasizing key developments that have driven this evolution into Sin-Latin relations. So, importance of relationship. Understanding China-Latin America relations is so crucial as it highlights emerging economical partnerships that impact global trade, investment strategies, and geopolitical alignments in the 21st century. Historical background. Let's dive into it. During the 1950s to 70s, China supported revolutionary movements in Latin America, notably backing Fidel Castro's Cuba and Peru's Shining Path. This ideological solidarity was part of a broader anti-imperialistic agenda aimed at countering US influence in the region. In the In the late 70s marked as a significant pivot in China's approach when Deng Xiaoping introduced market reforms. This transition emphasized economical partnerships over ideological propagation, initiating a period of pragmatism in China's foreign relations. By the 1990s, China had established diplomatic ties with almost every Latin American country, preparing the ground for the deeper cooperation in the 21st century. Global context. The changing dynamics in the China-Latin America relations reflect broader global trends post-Cold War. As China sought integration into the global economy, Latin America emerged as a strategic partner driven by resource needs and geopolitical realignment. China's political relationship with Latin America continues to grow, characterized by regular high-level meetings. Nations like Argentina, Brazil, and Peru align their diplomatic strategies with China's policies, showcasing shared interests that deepen bilateral ties with economic implications. China's KELAC Forum. The China's KELAC Forum, established to enhance cooperation, is pivotal for fostering South-to-South dialogue. This platform allows participating Latin American states to engage directly with China, promoting economical partnerships and mutual development goals. China's non-interference policy is appealing to many Latin American countries, often contrasting with US conditional aid approaches. This principle promotes sovereign equality, allowing nations to manage their internal affairs without external pressure, enhancing China's favor in the region. Support for One China policy. Countries like Argentina, Brazil, and Peru officially support China's claim over Taiwan. This shows they are building stronger political ties with China. It also helps them to make better trade deals and grow their economies. Economic ties. The economic relationship between China and Latin America represents one of the most significant trade partnerships globally and leading to mutual benefits and dependencies. China as a trading partner. So, let's now talk about economics, where China's presence is most visible. China is the top trading partner for several Latin American countries, including Brazil, Chile, and Peru. Latin American countries predominantly export raw materials to China, including soybeans, copper, lithium, and oil. These resources are essential for China's booming industries, significantly economic ties, and interdependencies. Interdependence. Imports from China. In return, China exports a variety of goods to Latin America, such as electronics, machinery, textile, and vehicles. This exchange not only fulfills consumer demands but also supports technological advancement in the region. Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI. One major driver of this expansion is the Belt and Road Initiative. While originally aimed at Asia, the BRI now includes 20 plus Latin American countries which have signed on for Chinese funded infrastructure projects like highways, ports, and railways. These projects aim to enhance trade connectivity, but concerns about environmental impacts and debt sustainability have been raised among local populations. Dependency risks. Ecuador is one of the case studies that provides a compelling example of China's significant role in Latin America, showcasing both the benefits and the challenges of foreign investment. Between 2008 to 2018, Ecuador borrowed over $18 billion from China, using much that of money to build hydroelectric dams and infrastructure. One of the major projects that Coco-Coda Sinclair Dam was built by a Chinese company, but later serious problems were discovered, cracks in the structure and environmental damage, which is raising questions about investment quality from foreign companies. Ecuador now is also repaying its debt by sending millions of barrels of oil to China each year, which limits their economic flexibility. Opportunities. So, what's the big picture? China offers major opportunities, access to capital, technology, and infrastructure that Latin America, most countries, need. However, China's growing presence in Latin America brings substantial benefits, but on the other hand, there are risks too. These include debt dependency, pressure on natural resources, and potential damage to labor and environmental standards. It's a double-edged sword, so countries must think carefully before like making contracts about long-term impacts. So, at the end of the presentation, China's role in Latin America has grown from an ideological partner to a strategic economic powerhouse. Its involvement brings many benefits, but also significant risks too, especially when it comes to debt and over-reliance on raw materials. Moving forward, Latin America must engage with China on its own terms, focusing on transparency, sustainability, and national interest. So this class has been so interesting and there are so many things that I've learned so far. So first of all, it's critical and globally thinking, because not only we just talk about like Asia and Latin America like relationships, but we also, for I can say, learned how these two continents' relationship affect to global economy and other countries as well. So another thing is soft power, which is culture. For example, like South Korea is very famous for its like how can I say taekwondo or K-pop, for example, and also media. And as we've seen from this presentation, corporations are not always equal. There is like visible power of China, so it's not always equal. Lastly, Asia, Latin America cooperation goes deep into history. The cooperation between or relationship between these two continents is not something new. It goes back to history and it's so old. So thank you for your attention.